Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, look, if you've got a DevOps interview lined up, you know the pressure is on the literal second you walk into that room or join that call. Today, we are mastering the absolutely crucial first 5 minutes of your DevOps interview. We're going to break down the foundational concepts you absolutely must know so you can project confidence and instantly secure your interviewer's attention. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll quickly hit the big 4 questions every interviewer asks, define what DevOps really is, look at why the industry desperately needed it, break down its 4 core pillars, and finally, nail your personal pitch. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the big 4 questions. Time to set the stakes.
So what actually happens in those first 5 minutes? Well, truthfully, interviewers are usually making their hiring decision right then and there. It all comes down to how clearly you explain foundational concepts. If you stumble on the basics, you've kind of lost them on the spot. I mean, it literally doesn't matter how many shiny tools you know or how complex your GitHub repos are. If you don't truly understand the fundamental what and why of DevOps, they just aren't going to trust you with their infrastructure. And here is the secret. These 4 exact questions form the definitive baseline every single hiring manager uses. Number 1, what is DevOps? Number 2, why DevOps? 3, how do you introduce yourself? And 4, what are your day-to-day activities? Whether you're at a tiny startup or a massive tech giant, you are going to face variations of these everywhere. Nail these 4, and you set a super commanding tone for the rest of the conversation.
Moving on to Section 2. What exactly is DevOps? Let's define the culture.
Let's tackle that first big question. Honestly, you can just forget the hundreds of overly complex textbook definitions out there. Fundamentally, DevOps is just a single team culture and practice that improves an organization's ability to deliver applications continuously and quickly. That's it. Think about it. The end goal for any company is delivery. If a nasty security flaw hits a mobile app, you simply can't wait weeks for a patch. DevOps is that specific culture that lets you push that critical update out in hours or even minutes.
Which brings us to Section 3. Why do we need DevOps? Let's look at the problem with the past.
To really get the why, we have to look back at where we came from 10 years ago. Software delivery was just painfully slow. We had legacy IT, which meant multiple, completely siloed teams doing these incredibly slow manual handoffs that routinely took weeks. Now, compare that to a modern DevOps culture. You've got a single collaborative team using automated workflows, effectively turning delivery times from weeks into mere hours. It's a total night and day difference.
Just imagine this old, totally broken bottleneck. A developer finishes writing their code. Then, the waiting game begins. First, a sysadmin manually provisions a bare metal server. Then, a build and release engineer has to manually deploy the app onto that server. And finally, a tester manually logs in to see if it even worked. Everyone was just waiting on everyone else. A tiny, simple bug fix for a game like PUBG could literally turn into a 10-day ordeal, just trying to navigate that manual maze.
All right, Section 4, the 4 core pillars, going beyond CI/CD.
So fixing that huge legacy bottleneck takes way more than just continuous integration. Candidates actually make this mistake all the time. They reduce DevOps entirely to just CI/CD. But if you do that, you are completely missing the bigger picture. To truly improve delivery, you absolutely must integrate 4 specific pillars: automation, quality, monitoring, and continuous testing. They have to work seamlessly together.
As you can see here, these 4 slices carry absolute equal weight. It's kind of like a massive factory making computer chips. You can bring in heavy machinery to automate everything for incredible speed. That's your automation. But is that enough? No way! You have to maintain top-tier quality. And how do you ensure that automated quality doesn't drop? You actively monitor the machinery to catch failures the literal second they happen, and you rigorously, continuously test the final product. You simply cannot just automate for speed without monitoring and testing for quality.
Final section, number 5, nailing your pitch, introductions and daily tasks.
Let's put this all into practice and build your personalized interview script. The golden rule of thumb here: always connect your past technical experience directly to your current DevOps reality. Seriously, do not hide your past. Whether you started as a Java dev or a traditional server admin, that background gives you a totally unique edge. Bridge that gap so the interviewer sees the exact, specific value you bring to their infrastructure.
Here's a super simple template you can use right out of the gate. Try saying something like, I have 4 years in DevOps, a background as a sysadmin, and today my responsibilities focus on.
and just fill in the blank. It's clean, it's honest, and it sets up a great narrative. But hey, vital word of warning here. Claiming you have 10 years of pure DevOps experience is an instant red flag. The methodology just hasn't even been popular for that long. If you say that, they are going to see right through it, and you'll lose your credibility immediately.
Now for that dreaded day-to-day activities question. The trick? Just map your daily tasks right back to those 4 core pillars we just went over. Tell them you focus on automation by eliminating manual delivery steps, on quality by maintaining strict application standards, on monitoring by setting up observability alerts so you catch breakages before the customer ever does, and on testing by integrating continuous test cycles. Structuring your answer this way proves you actually understand the complete philosophy, not just how to run a couple of isolated tools.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this to chew on. Your conceptual foundation is rock solid now. You know the history, you know the 4 pillars, and you know exactly what hiring managers are listening for. But how will you adapt these 4 core pillars to script your own unique background for your next big interview? How are you going to map your specific journey into this playbook? Get your pitch ready, remember your pillars, and walk into those first 5 minutes with absolute confidence. Keep learning, keep building, and we will see you next time.